Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of CTF. My name is Tyler and it is the end of August, right? Yes, August? Yeah. It's the end of August, so that means I'm going to be doing my rankings of the top 10 CTF players of the month in the terms of statistics and what I think is the best type of stats to have. So this month there's not a lot of differences compared to last month. There is a new number one, um, but I mean, a lot of the players do kind of come back from last month. There's couple of new people. If you have not seen last month's rankings for the month of July, you should go check that out. I will put a link now. Please go watch that so you can see if you made last month. Maybe you don't even know if you made last month. But I really like doing this because it's kind of fun, and I think it kind of brings a new thing. So this is last month's. This is not this month's. And Jep was number one last month. He doesn't even appear on this month because he's not even on the first page, which I should say, in order to be considered on this ranking system, you must be on the top page of the leaderboard at the end of the month. It is not exactly the last day of August, but the last day of August is the day that I'm posting this, so I can't really go off of that information. But I am. This is the second to last month of August. And by the way, there is a cricket, and I don't know how loud it is, but I'm sorry if you can hear it. I'm ready for winter. I'm ready for winter because these crickets are literally driving me insane. So I'm going to try to talk louder than the cricket, so you don't have to hear that annoying cricket. And I'm just going to put my other headphone in so I can't hear it either because it's really getting on my nerves. Okay. So number 10 for the month is Cascrute. Am I saying that right? Cascrute? Maybe it's Cascrute. They have a 59% or 59 game win percentage. I'm sorry I'm typing this slow. It's just because it's the first one and I want to make sure it's all right. And they had a 1.5 KDR, so not terrible, but not the best either. But their cap ratio is pretty good. They had a 24% cap ratio. That's not percent. That is percent. So yeah, I mean, their game win percentage is pretty good. One thing I will say about this month is there was a lot of people who had pretty high game win percentage compared to last month. Last month, 10th place had like 40-some%. Or I know there was some 40-some% game winnage. And there's none of that this month. And the highest things I put on here are game win percentage and cap ratio is what I look at the most to be the most important. If you're high on both of those, you will be really high up on this because that's what I think is the most valuable to CTF because it shows that one, you try to cap, which is obviously important because that's the point of the game, and if you have a high game win percentage, that means you also take care of your own flag a lot as well. So yeah, so now I have that. So now I'll be quicker at this. Okay, so number 9 for the month is statistical. He was on here last month actually, and he moved up a position, and all of his stats overall improved. He had a 59 game win percentage as well. His KDR was 0.1, slightly better. It's still not the best, but it's better than what it was last month. But his cap percentage ratio is extremely good. I can't remember if this is the best for the month. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the best of the month. But I'll talk about that person later on. So yeah, statistical is 9th. Another new person for the month, Cascrute is a new person on this list. They were not on here last month. And another new person is number 8, and this is Wylan. Am I or is it Y Luan? I think it's Y Luan. Let me go and make sure that this is right. I'm glad I checked because it was Y Luan. They had a 63 game win percentage. Their KDR was a 1.6, which isn't great and isn't terrible at the same time. Their cap ratio was not that good. It really was not that good, but I put them high up on here because their game win percentage is really good, which shows me that they do care a lot about taking their own flag and just making sure that they win, because the whole leaderboard system of MCC is based on winning. So this shows me that they care a lot about winning, and that's why I put them at the 8th spot, and this cricket is gonna drive me insane. Anyways, number 7th for the month is Jules, and she was on here last month as well. Okay, yeah. She had a 60 game win percentage. And again, so this is lower than what Y Luan had, but the reason I put her higher is because she did have a slightly better KDR, and she had a way better cap ratio. She had a 30% cap ratio, which is really good for this, because it's hard to cap anymore on CTF. The highest you see are in the 50s, which is like over half the games they win is because they capped, which is really, really good. Number 6 for the month, it was also on here last month, and I think he's in the same position as last month. I'm not sure, but Zero Nerve has, like, all of his stats was exactly the same too, which is kind of crazy to me. A 65% game, or a 65 game win percentage. KDR was at a 2.3. The thing that really hurts Zero a lot is his cap ratio is only at 19%, which isn't that great compared to everyone else that's on this leaderboard. But he is a really good player, so that's why I put him at 6th. Number 5 for the month was also on here last month. This is Zerzetri, which they told me that I said their name right last month, and I hope I'm still saying it right. He also had a 65 game win percentage, but the reason I put him higher than Zero was not because of his KDR. His KDR is actually worse, but KDR again is not something that's really important. It's important to have at least a positive KDR, which I will also talk about here in a little bit. But it's really not that big of a deal if you're 1 KDR higher, which that's what Zero is. But Zerzetri has a way higher cap percentage. Not a way higher, but it is definitely almost 10 points higher, which I think is really important. And everything else is the same. Game win percentage is the same. So that's why I put him above Zero Nerve. Number 4 for the month is Alturiel. And that's a new person for the leaderboard. They were not on here last month, I'm pretty sure. They had a 75 game win percentage. So, like, the game win percentage is so much higher this month than last month, because the highest for last month was a 78%. And we're already at 75%, and we're on the 4th person already. So yeah, Alturiel had a 75 game win percentage. Their KDR was a really nice 2.8, and their cap ratio was pretty short, but that game win percentage is just so great, and the KDR is good as well, so that's why I put them at 4th. Number 3 for the month was on here last month, and he's actually the number 1 player of the month, and his stats are really, really, really good. However, I put him here because his cap ratio just isn't the best, and his game win percentage is not as good as other people on the leaderboard, so that's why I put him here. But this is Sir Ningwam. I don't think I'm ever saying this right. He had a 78 game win percentage, which is what which is what Jep had last month for being on the top spot. But there's some better game win percentage people on here. And Cerningham had the best KDR of the month. 3.7 KDR, which is really, really good. But again, KDR just really isn't that important on CTF. I mean, getting kills is nice and all that because sometimes games will go down to kills. A lot of times they go down to kills. But it's not that important, and his cap ratio also just isn't that great. A 24% cap ratio. That's not that great, and there's just better people on here, so that's why I put him at third. But he did finish first for the month of August. So the second best player for the month of August on CTF goes to Sadness. Well, technically Skness. She had an 80 game win percentage, which is unbelievably good. 8/10 of the game they play, she wins, which is really, really good. I am saying she, even though I don't know for sure it is a she, but I think it's a she. So, yeah, don't come for me. KDR is also pretty good, a 2.3 KDR. Cap percentage is slightly better than Cerningham, so that's why I put them higher than Cerningham, because the game win percentage is higher and the cap ratio is higher as well. Now, I will say for Cerningham, he definitely has played a lot more games, so obviously it's harder to keep a really good game win percentage when you're playing a lot. I mean, you're not going to win all the time, obviously, but both Sadness and the person who's number one are on the first page of the leaderboard, which means they've at least played about 250 games, which is quite a bit. And also, some people can't play on here as much as others, so that's why I don't think it's really fair to just give whoever plays the more games. You know what I mean? Because I just don't think that's really fair for everyone. Because some people have other things they have to do in their life, and they can't always just be on here 24/7. So, as long as you're on the first page, I took you into consideration, and I did the math for everyone on here. So yeah, Sadness was second for the month. And the number one person for the month of August on CTF goes to Tapney. And they were not on here at all last month. They weren't on the first page of the leaderboard last month. But I think it's a he. He really has phenomenal statistics. And I had to give him the number one spot because he had an 83 game win percentage, which is just unbelievably good, and a 2.2 KDR, which again is not that important, but it's still really good to have. And his cap ratio was higher than Sadness and Cerningham, so that's why I definitely had to give him the top spot. He had a 34 percentage cap ratio, which is just really, really good. And but yeah, I had to give him the top spot because that game win percentage and the cap ratio is better than everyone else. So back to what I was saying earlier. So most kills for month of August goes to Cerningham. He had, literally, there was no competition in this, 6,812 kills. And the month's not technically over, so he could very well reach 7,000 kills. But I can't record this tomorrow and upload it the same day. My internet speed is not that good, I'm sorry. But no one else, literally, I don't think no one else was even in 3,000. So this was really, really good for him. Most caps for month of August. So this is back to what I was saying earlier about cap win percentage. Or cap percentage ratio. This person who had the most caps for the month had like a 59% cap ratio. However, their game win percentage was not the best. It was like, it was okay. I think it was like 59%. But their KDR was -4. -4. They had like 800 kills and then like 3,000 deaths or something. It was something like that. Their KDR was -4, which which shows me that they mostly just rush. They don't care at all about how many times they're gonna die. They don't care even if they win. They just want to cap, which is nice, but it's also like, you're not really, you know, an extremely valuable player, because sometimes if you're on a certain part of the day, there's really like teams that don't know how to defend or don't really have good defense. And I'm not taking away from this person from being a good capper and a good rusher, because obviously they're a good capper and rusher. But it's also one of those things where if you choose a lot with a lot of people, then you know this is going to help you out. But anyways, long story short, Millie 700 got the most caps for the month, with 250 caps, and then the most wins for the month, which shows that you're on top of the regular MCC leaderboard because it just works by getting wins. Most wins went to Sir Ningham as well because they are #1 for the month. And he had, what did he have? 615 wins, which I think is down from last month. I think Oklahoma had 692. Now there is still another day, but the caps is way lower for the month. Pierre May had 496. This is 250. So I think this is really interesting because this shows how CTF kind of changes each month. So obviously last month capping was a lot more higher and more important. This month it seems like it's a lot of defense, because the KDRs are also pretty higher and the game win percentage is higher, which means people care more about winning and defending and making sure that they win, than trying to go for who can cap quicker and the most. This is the top 10 players for the month of August. Tapney first, Sadness second, Sir Ningham at third, Alturiel at fourth, Sir Zetri at fifth, Zero Nerve at sixth, Jules at seventh, Y Luan at eighth, Statistical at 9, and Cast Crute at 10th. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this personal ranking system that I do, because I think it's really a nice way to, you know, kind of show who the best players of the month are. I didn't even finish on the top 10 page because I have been really busy with my S&P series that I've been starting, but I'm going to probably try hard more in the month of September. But again, I don't put myself on this leaderboard because people will complain because, oh, you're just putting yourself higher and blah blah blah. So I don't like to mess with that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to me if you are not subscribed already. I'm really close to 500 subscribers, so help me out there. And I will do this again at the end of September. I think you guys are really enjoying this, and that makes me happy because I tried to make this something kind of cool, and yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for this ranking for the month of August of CTF players. And next month, maybe we'll have a new #1 or some new players joining on here. I'm going to keep track of who gets the most #1 positions. Not right now because it's literally just the second month, but I will keep that in mind for future references. Oh, okay. Anyways, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember to live moss. Goodbye!